The signal. Dr. Sarah Chen knew something was wrong the moment she saw the quantum noise patterns on her holographic display. After 3 years of monitoring background radiation at the Global Communications Initiative's Antarctic facility, she had developed an almost intuitive sense for quantum fluctuations. These patterns were different. They were structured, artificial. The facility's massive quantum antenna array pierced the perpetual Antarctic night, its crystalline structures designed to detect and manipulate the fabric of space-time itself. The project had been controversial from the start. Many argued that quantum communication research was a waste of resources when conventional technology worked perfectly fine. But Sarah had always known there was more to quantum mechanics than faster phones and computers. The universe spoke in quantum, and she had dedicated her life to learning its language. Maya, run a correlation analysis on signal pattern Beta 7. She commanded, her voice steady despite the excitement building in her chest. The facility's AI responded immediately, its holographic avatar materializing beside her workstation. Analysis complete, Dr. Chen. The signal contains embedded mathematical sequences that exceed random probability by 7 orders of magnitude. Origin point appears to be approximately 47 light-years from Earth, in the direction of the Pleiades cluster. Sarah's hands trembled as she pulled up the raw data. She had expected to spend her career searching for the theoretical possibility of quantum communications. Instead, she was looking at proof that someone out there had mastered it long ago. The signal was elegant, using quantum entanglement in ways she had only dreamed of. It wasn't just a message. It was a tutorial, teaching anyone who could detect it how to respond. Maya, implement security protocol Omega. No data leaves this room until we verify this isn't some kind of glitch. Sarah knew the implications of what she was seeing. Humanity's first contact with alien intelligence might not come from radio telescopes or deep space probes, but through the quantum realm itself. The next 72 hours passed in a blur of calculations, verifications, and endless cups of coffee. Sarah assembled a small team of the facility's most trusted researchers, sworn to secrecy until they could be certain. Dr. James Morrison, their theoretical physicist, spent hours staring at the mathematical patterns hidden in the signal. "It's beautiful," he whispered, more to himself than the others. "They're not just showing us how to communicate, they're teaching us how to think in quantum. These equations, they're like poetry." Sarah understood his awe. The signal revealed approaches to quantum mechanics that made their most advanced theories look primitive. But something about it bothered her. The mathematical sequences were too perfect, too precisely calibrated to human understanding. Almost as if they've been watching us, she announced to the team during their third late-night session. "This signal isn't some random beacon. It's specifically designed for our current level of technology." They knew exactly when we'd be able to detect it, and exactly how to help us understand it. The implications sent a chill through the room. Lieutenant Colonel Diana Hayes, their military liaison, spoke up for the first time in hours. "So we have to ask ourselves, why now? Why wait until this exact moment to make contact?" Before Sarah could respond, Maya's avatar flickered to life with an urgent alert. "Dr. Chen, I've detected multiple quantum signatures activating throughout the solar system. The signal appears to have triggered dormant quantum devices in various locations." Sarah's blood ran cold as she pulled up the coordinate map. The devices formed a perfect geometric pattern extending from the orbit of Mercury to the Kuiper Belt. They had been waiting there, silent and invisible, for years or decades or perhaps centuries, waiting for humanity to reach this precise moment in our technological development. "This isn't first contact," Sarah realized, her voice barely a whisper. "This is first response." The quantum network hummed to life, each node perfectly calibrated to Earth's own quantum experiments. Data began flowing through channels humanity hadn't even known existed, painting a picture that grew more troubling with each passing moment. The aliens hadn't just been watching. They had been preparing. Lieutenant Colonel Hayes was already on a secure line to Global Command. We need to implement first contact protocol immediately. And someone get me the Secretary General of the UN. But Sarah barely heard her. She was transfixed by the new patterns emerging in the quantum noise. The signal was changing, evolving from a simple mathematical sequence into something far more complex. Through the quantum static, she could almost see shapes forming. Massive objects moving through space, heading toward Earth. Maya, project their trajectory assuming constant velocity. The AI complied, and a holographic map of the solar system filled the room. Red lines traced paths from deep space, converging on Earth's orbit. The timing wasn't random either. At their current speed, the objects would arrive precisely 1 Earth month from today. Dr. Morrison looked up from his calculations, his face pale. Sarah, these energy readings, whatever's coming, it's big. Really big. Sarah nodded, her mind already racing ahead to the possibilities. Humanity had just started taking its first steps into quantum science, and now they were about to meet the masters of the technology. The signal hadn't just been a greeting, it had been a countdown. Get me everything we have on quantum shielding, she ordered. And contact every quantum research facility on Earth. We have 1 month to prepare for whatever's coming, and we're going to need every brilliant mind we can get. As her team scrambled into action, Sarah took one last look at the original signal pattern. Its elegant mathematics now seemed less like poetry and more like a warning. Humanity had passed some cosmic threshold, and the universe had noticed. The only question was whether we were ready for what came next. Maya's avatar flickered again. Dr. Chen, Global Command is initiating worldwide defense protocols. They're requesting your presence at the emergency summit in Geneva. Sarah gathered her data tablets, her mind already formulating theories and possible responses. Whatever was coming, humanity would face it the way we had faced every challenge in our history, with curiosity, courage, and the unshakable determination to survive. The arrival. The Geneva summit was unlike anything in human history. Representatives from every nation sat in tense silence as Dr. Sarah Chen's hologram demonstrated how the alien quantum network had awakened throughout their solar system. The massive underground chamber, built to withstand nuclear strikes, now served as humanity's first unified command center. The network isn't just observing us, Sarah explained, manipulating the holographic display with practiced gestures. It's measuring our quantum technology development with incredible precision. These readings suggest they've been monitoring our progress for at least a century. The Secretary General leaned forward, her expression grave. And you're certain about the arrival timeline? 3 weeks, 4 days, and approximately 6 hours from now. Sarah confirmed. The quantum signatures are growing stronger. Whatever's coming, it's massive. We're detecting gravitational distortions that suggest multiple objects, each larger than anything humanity has ever constructed. Admiral Zhang, commander of Earth's combined space forces, spoke next. What are our options for defense? Before Sarah could respond, the quantum detection grid lit up with new alerts. Maya's avatar appeared, her expression unusually urgent. Multiple quantum anomalies detected at the edge of the solar system. The objects we've been tracking. They've accelerated. The room erupted in controlled chaos as military commanders received updates through their neural links. The massive holographic display showed the solar system in real time, red dots representing the approaching vessels now moving at impossible speeds. They'll be here in less than 6 hours, Sarah announced, her voice cutting through the tension. Their quantum drive technology. It's beyond anything we theorized possible. The Secretary General's voice remained steady as she activated the global emergency broadcast system. Then we have 6 hours to prepare humanity for its first contact with an alien civilization. Let's make them count. The next few hours transformed Earth. Military forces worldwide moved with practiced precision, implementing contingency plans developed for exactly this scenario. Civilian populations were notified, but not evacuated. A show of force would only demonstrate fear. Sarah found herself relocated to Quantum Command, a hidden facility beneath the Rocky Mountains. Her team worked frantically to analyze the approaching ship's quantum signatures, looking for any weakness, any pattern they could understand. Dr. Chen. Dr. Morrison called out, his hands flying over his holographic interface. I think I've found something. The quantum fluctuations from their drives. They're not just propulsion systems. They're communication devices, far more sophisticated than the network we detected. Sarah's mind raced with the implications. They're not just coming to meet us. They're coming to talk to us. Maya. Analyze the quantum signatures. Look for any patterns similar to human language structures. The eye's processors hummed as they tackled the massive calculations. Pattern detected. The quantum signatures contain embedded information packets, beginning translation using the mathematical basis from the original signal. The first translated message appeared on their screens just as the alien vessels entered Mars orbit. The ships were beautiful and terrifying, massive crystalline structures that seemed to phase in and out of reality itself. Earth's most powerful telescopes showed structures that shouldn't be possible, geometries that hurt the human mind to contemplate. To the emerging quantum civilization of Sol 3, the message read, "We are the Ascended. Your development has been noted. We bring warning of grave importance." Sarah worked with Maya to craft a response, using the quantum principles they'd learned from the original signal. This is Earth. We acknowledge your presence and are prepared to receive your warning. The reply came instantly. The quantum realm is not empty. Your experiments have drawn attention. Not all who watch are benevolent. We approach with purpose, to protect. Lieutenant Colonel Hayes, who had accompanied Sarah from Antarctica, frowned at the message. Protect us from what? The answer came in the form of new quantum signatures, detected at the very edge of their sensor range. These were different, chaotic, hungry, wrong. Maya's analysis painted a disturbing picture. Massive entities, far larger than the ascended ships, moving through quantum space with predatory grace. The harvester's approach, the ascended transmitted. They feed on civilizations that achieve quantum awareness. Your development occurred too rapidly. You have no defenses. Sarah studied the new data with growing concern. The harvester quantum signatures were unlike anything they'd seen. They didn't just bend space-time. They consumed it. But something about the Ascended's warning bothered her. Their quantum technology was precisely calibrated to human understanding, too precisely. Maya, she whispered, analyze the Ascended ship's quantum signatures. Compare them to historical data from the dormant network. Look for any patterns that predate our quantum experiments. The AI worked silently for several moments. When the results appeared, Sarah's suspicions were confirmed. The quantum network hadn't been monitoring their progress. It had been guiding it. Every major breakthrough in human quantum physics over the past 50 years aligned perfectly with subtle manipulations from the alien devices. They didn't come to warn us, Sarah realized. They came to harvest us themselves. As if in response to her discovery, the ascended ships began moving into position around Earth. Their formation was perfect, too perfect. It wasn't defensive, it was designed to contain. Lieutenant Colonel, Sarah called out, her voice tight with controlled urgency. I need a direct line to Admiral Zhang. The Ascended aren't our protectors. They're farmers, and we're their crop. The massive holographic display showed the Ascended ships completing their formation. Earth's combined military forces remained hidden, waiting for the signal to reveal humanity's true capabilities. Sarah allowed herself a grim smile as she initiated a quantum scan of her own. The Ascended had spent decades guiding human quantum research, never realizing that we might take their lessons in unexpected directions. They thought they were creating the perfect harvest. Instead, they had given humanity exactly what we needed to fight back. Maya, Sarah commanded, activate Project Prometheus. Let's show our visitors what happens when you try to farm humans. The quantum realm lit up with new signatures as humanity prepared to demonstrate that we would not be anyone's crop. The real first contact was about to begin, and Earth was ready. The deception. Project Prometheus wasn't a weapon. It was something far more dangerous. An idea. As the ascended ships maintained their perfect containment formation around Earth, Sarah Chen watched the quantum readings with growing satisfaction. Every attempted scan from the alien vessels was met with exactly the response they expected to see. A young civilization, rapidly developing but still vulnerable, ripe for harvest. They had no way of knowing that each scan was being filtered through humanity's own quantum network, a system that had been built in parallel with the one they thought they controlled. For every step the Ascended had guided humanity to take, we had taken 2 more in secret. Status report. Admiral Zhang demanded, his hologram materializing in the command center. Sarah gestured at the complex data streams flowing across her displays. The Ascended are completely convinced by our deception. They're seeing exactly what they expect. A panicked Earth government trying to coordinate a response to their arrival. They have no idea about the Quantum Shield Network. The Quantum Shield Network had been humanity's greatest secret, a web of satellites and stations hidden in plain sight, their true purpose concealed behind civilian and commercial facades. While the Ascended thought they were watching humanity's every move, we had been studying them, learning from their technology, and preparing. Lieutenant Colonel Hayes approached Sarah's station, her neural link displaying tactical updates. The harvesters have crossed Jupiter's orbit. Initial analysis confirms your theory. They're not independent predators. They're working with the Ascended. Of course they are, Sarah replied, her fingers dancing across the holographic controls. The Ascended don't protect young civilizations from the harvesters. They use the harvesters as a threat to make us accept their protection. It's the perfect trap. Either submit to their control or face something even worse. The massive display showed the harvester ships in all their terrifying glory. They were organic-looking things, more like spaceborne leviathans than constructed vessels. Their quantum signatures pulsed with hungry intent, but Sarah had noticed something crucial about their approach. They were following a very specific pattern, one that complemented the Ascended formation too perfectly to be coincidence. Maya, Sarah called out, cross-reference the harvester approach vectors with the quantum guidance patterns we detected in the original network. Show me the overlap. The AI's analysis confirmed what she had suspected. The harvesters weren't just working with the Ascended. They were the same species. The massive organic ships were simply another aspect of their technology, a boogeyman created to drive younger civilizations into their waiting arms. Dr. Morrison looked up from his own analysis, his eyes wide. Sarah, these energy readings, the harvesters aren't designed for actual combat. They're terror weapons, meant to frighten and herd, not to fight. Exactly, Sarah smiled. The Ascended have been running this con for who knows how long. Find a developing civilization, guide their development, then threaten them with the harvesters until they submit to protection. They probably haven't faced real resistance in millennia. Admiral Zhang's hologram nodded grimly. Then let's show them something new. All commands, prepare to execute Operation Twilight. Throughout the solar system, humanity's hidden strength stirred to life. The Quantum Shield Network wasn't just defensive. Each node was also a weapon, designed using principles reversed engineered from the very network the Ascended had used to monitor Earth. The Ascended's first indication that something was wrong came when their scans of Earth suddenly went dark. Not blocked or jammed, but simply dark, as if the planet and its quantum signature had ceased to exist. Signal detected from the Ascended flagship, Maya announced. They're demanding to know what's happening. Sarah took a deep breath. This was the moment of truth. Send our response. Thank you for the lessons. Class is over. The Quantum Shield Network activated in full, revealing its true nature. Each node generated a field that didn't just block quantum effects, it reversed them. The Ascended ships found their own technology turned against them. their quantum drives screaming in protest as space itself seemed to revolt against their presence. "The harvesters are breaking formation," Lieutenant Colonel Hayes reported, unable to keep the satisfaction from her voice. "Their synchronized movement is compromised. They're trying to flee." Sarah watched as the massive organic ships thrashed in quantum space, their true nature revealed. Without their carefully choreographed approach and the fear they inspired, they were exposed for what they really were, props in an elaborate cosmic con game. "Signal from the Ascended flagship," Maya announced. "They're requesting parley." Admiral Zhang's hologram smiled coldly. "Tell them we'll be happy to discuss terms after they explain exactly how many other civilizations they've enslaved with this deception." The quantum readings from the Ascended ships showed increasing signs of panic. Their perfect formation was collapsing as the quantum shield network continued its work, systematically dismantling their technological advantages. "Dr. Chen," Admiral Zhang turned to Sarah, "prepare a quantum burst transmission. It's time to let the galaxy know that the Ascended's harvesting days are over." As Sarah worked with Maya to encode the message that would expose the Ascended's deception to every quantum-capable civilization in range, she reflected on the irony of the situation. The Ascended had spent decades carefully cultivating humanity's quantum technology, never realizing they were creating the very means of their own downfall. "Message ready for transmission," she announced. "Though I suspect our friends up there are about to learn another human trait they didn't account for in their calculations." "What's that?" Lieutenant Colonel Hayes asked. "We don't like bullies," Sarah replied, initiating the transmission. "And we're really good at sharing information about them." The quantum realm lit up as humanity's message raced outward at speeds the Ascended had thought impossible, carrying with it proof of their deception and the means to fight back. The age of harvest was about to end, replaced by something the Ascended had never expected: consequences. The innovation. The Ascended flagship's quantum signature pulsed with what Sarah Chen had learned to recognize as fear. The massive crystalline vessel hung in high Earth orbit, its once perfect formation in shambles as the rest of their fleet struggled against humanity's quantum shield network. The harvester ships had retreated to the outer system, their true nature as elaborate props exposed to any civilization capable of detecting quantum signatures. "They're requesting direct communication," Maya announced. "The signal pattern suggests desperation." Sarah exchanged glances with Admiral Zhang's hologram before nodding. "Let's hear what they have to say." The being that appeared in their holographic display was both beautiful and alien, a shifting mass of crystalline structures that somehow conveyed expression and emotion. When it spoke, its words were translated through principles of quantum mechanics rather than conventional linguistics. "You do not understand what you have done," the Ascended representative began. "The deception was necessary, essential." "Necessary for whom?" Sarah challenged. "The civilizations you've enslaved, the species you've manipulated into submission." The crystalline form rippled with what might have been agitation. "You think us conquerors, enslavers. We are shepherds, guiding young species away from the true darkness that awaits in quantum space." Lieutenant Colonel Hayes stepped forward. "You mean the harvesters? Your own ships?" "No." The alien's form contracted. "The harvesters are a deception, yes, a necessary fiction to protect young species from their own reckless advancement. But what they represent, that threat is real." Sarah felt a chill as the quantum readings from the alien ship revealed patterns of genuine terror. "Explain." The story that emerged was not what anyone had expected. The Ascended were indeed manipulators, but they were also refugees. Eons ago, their civilization had advanced too quickly into quantum mechanics, drawing the attention of something ancient and hungry that lived in the quantum realm itself. They had barely survived, and their solution had been to become guardians, controlling the development of younger species to prevent them from attracting the same attention. "Your quantum experiments," the Ascended explained. "They create ripples, disturbances. The entity sleeps in the deep quantum field, But it stirs at such things. We guide species to develop slowly, carefully, to avoid waking it. Dr. Morrison's hands flew over his console as he analyzed the new data the Ascended were sharing. Sarah, these readings, they're showing us something massive. A quantum signature that makes their entire fleet look like a candle next to the sun. Sarah studied the data with growing understanding. The Ascended hadn't been farming younger species, they had been hiding them, creating a controlled environment where quantum technology could develop without drawing attention from something far worse than their theatrical harvesters. Why not just tell us the truth? Admiral Zhang demanded. Why the elaborate deception? The Ascended's form rippled again. Truth leads to questions. Questions lead to experiments. Experiments draw attention. Better to be feared as protectors than to risk another awakening. Sarah's mind was already racing ahead, processing the implications. The Ascended's quantum technology, humanity's innovations, the mysterious entity, all pieces of a puzzle they hadn't known they were solving. Maya, she called out suddenly, show me the resonance patterns from our quantum shield network. Not the effects on the Ascended ships, show me the deep field interactions. The display shifted, revealing layers of quantum mathematics that made most of the room's occupants dizzy. But Sarah saw something the Ascended had missed, something that only a species that had developed quantum technology in secret, parallel to their guided advancement, could have discovered. We've been going about this all wrong, she breathed. The quantum shield network, it's not just blocking quantum effects, it's harmonizing them, creating a kind of quantum camouflage. Dr. Morrison caught on immediately. A quantum dampening field that doesn't just hide activity, it makes it appear natural. Sarah finished. The Ascended have been trying to control quantum development, but we accidentally found a way to make it invisible to deep field observation. The Ascended representative's form had gone completely still. Impossible. We have searched for millennia for such a solution. Because you were too focused on control, Sarah explained, her excitement building. You were so busy trying to manage quantum development that you never thought about making it seem like part of the background noise of space itself. Admiral Zhang leaned forward. Can we expand this effect? Shield other civilizations. Sarah was already working with Maya, extrapolating the mathematics. Better than that. We can teach them to shield themselves. No more need for shepherds or fake harvesters. Each species can develop at their own pace, naturally hidden from deep field observation. The Ascended representative's form shifted through patterns they had never seen before. You would share this technology, even after our deception. That's another thing you didn't understand about humans. Sarah smiled. We're pretty big on forgiveness when someone admits they were wrong. Besides, your intentions were good, even if your methods were questionable. Lieutenant Colonel Hayes was already coordinating with Global Command. We'll need to modify our entire quantum infrastructure to implement this on a large scale. No, Sarah corrected her. We need to help everyone modify their quantum infrastructure. The Ascended signal network reaches dozens of developing civilizations. We can use it to share this protection instead of control. The quantum readings from the Ascended flagship changed, showing patterns of what their translation matrices identified as hope, the first truly positive emotion they had detected from the aliens. We have protected through fear for so long, the representative said softly. The idea of protection through cooperation, it is strange. New. Welcome to the human way of doing things, Sarah replied. Now let's talk about how we can help all those civilizations you've been protecting learn to protect themselves. As humanity began the massive task of transforming the Ascended's network of control into a network of cooperation, Sarah couldn't help but appreciate the irony. The Ascended had sought to prevent disaster by controlling the development of quantum technology. Instead, they had inadvertently created exactly the right conditions for humanity to discover a better way. The quantum realm hummed with new possibilities as Earth prepared to share its innovation with the galaxy. The age of shepherds was ending, replaced by an era of collaboration that even the Ascended had never imagined possible. The resolution. 3 months after humanity's first contact with the Ascended, the solar system had become the center of a quantum revolution that was spreading across the galaxy. The massive quantum antenna array in Antarctica, where Sarah Chen had first detected the alien signal, now served as the primary hub for a very different kind of network, one built on cooperation rather than control. Quantum signature detected from the Proxima Centauri colony, Maya announced. They've successfully implemented the harmonic dampening field. That makes 17 civilizations now operating independently under their own quantum camouflage. Sarah nodded with satisfaction as she studied the data streams. Each implementation of the quantum shield technology was slightly different, adapted to the unique characteristics of the species using it. Some had even improved on the original design, adding innovations that humanity and the Ascended had never considered. The entity's quantum signature remained stable, Dr. Morrison reported from his station. No sign of increased activity despite the expanding network of shielded civilizations. The entity, that ancient, sleeping consciousness that the Ascended had feared for millennia, had become the focus of careful study. Through their quantum camouflage, civilizations could now observe it safely, learning about its nature without risking its attention. Admiral Zhang's hologram appeared in the command center. The Ascended Council is ready for the final transition. They're awaiting your signal, Dr. Chen. Sarah took a deep breath. This was the moment that would truly transform galactic civilization. The Ascended were about to voluntarily dismantle their system of control, replacing it with the framework for cooperation that humanity had designed. Think they're really ready? Lieutenant Colonel Hayes asked quietly. They don't have much choice, Sarah replied. Once we shared the quantum shield technology, their old system of control became obsolete, but I think they're genuinely excited about the change. They've been carrying the burden of protecting younger species for so long. Sharing that responsibility has given them new purpose. The massive display showed hundreds of quantum signatures across the galaxy, each representing a civilization that had been under Ascended control. One by one, they were awakening to their true potential, implementing their own quantum shields, and joining the growing network of independent but connected species. Signal from the Ascended flagship, Maya announced. The Council is initiating the dissolution sequence. The quantum realm lit up with new patterns as the Ascended began dismantling their ancient network of control. The fake harvester ships, no longer needed, were being repurposed into quantum research stations. Their crystalline technology, once used to monitor and restrict, was being transformed into tools for cooperation and shared discovery. We're detecting quantum signatures we've never seen before, Dr. Morrison reported excitedly. Species that were hiding from the Ascended, now reaching out once they realize what's happening. Sarah wasn't surprised. Humanity's solution hadn't just freed the civilizations under Ascended control, it had created safe conditions for any quantum-capable species to reveal itself and join the growing galactic community. The Ascended representative materialized in their command center, its crystalline form flowing with patterns they had learned to read as joy. The Council has completed the transition. The old network is fully dissolved. We stand ready to join the new alliance as equals, not shepherds. Welcome to the future you helped create, Sarah replied. Even if you didn't mean to. The representative's form rippled with what might have been laughter. We spent eons trying to protect through control, never imagining that protection through cooperation was possible. Humanity has taught us that fear of advancement can be more dangerous than advancement itself. Fear stops innovation, Sarah agreed. And sometimes innovation is exactly what you need to solve seemingly impossible problems. Admiral Zhang's hologram nodded. Speaking of innovation, the quantum research teams have made another breakthrough. Dr. Chen, would you like to share the news? Sarah gestured at the main display, bringing up the latest data from their study of the entity. We've discovered that it's not just ancient, it's a remnant of the universe's earliest moments, a quantum consciousness that formed before the first stars. The Ascended thought it was hunting younger species, But our research suggests it's actually responding to quantum patterns that remind it of its own early development. You believe it can be communicated with? The ascended representative asked, its form showing patterns of both fear and fascination. Eventually, Sarah confirmed. But this time, we'll approach it carefully, collectively, with the combined knowledge of all our civilizations. No need to rush. We're well hidden now, thanks to the quantum shields. We can take the time to do it right. Lieutenant Colonel Hayes checked her neural link. The first joint quantum research facility is online in the TA-CD system. Teams from 12 different species working together, sharing knowledge freely for the first time. The ascended representative's form shifted to a pattern they now recognize as pride. In trying to prevent disaster, we nearly prevented the greatest advancement in our galaxy's history. The irony is not lost on us. That's the thing about advancement. Sarah smiled. It's not about controlling the process or even understanding everything before you begin. It's about being willing to take that first step into the unknown, to trust in our ability to solve problems as they arise. The quantum realm hummed with the activities of countless civilizations, each developing in their own way while contributing to the greater whole. The entities slumbered in the deep field, its presence now a source of scientific curiosity rather than terror. And humanity, the youngest of the quantum-capable species, had found its place in the galaxy not through power or control, but through innovation and cooperation. Signal from the Proxima Centauri research team, Maya announced. They're detecting new quantum patterns from the entity. It might be dreaming. Sarah Chen looked out at the Antarctic night, where the quantum antenna array still pierced the sky. Soon, it would be joined by thousands of others across human space, each contributing to humanity's growing understanding of the quantum realm. They had taken their first steps into a larger universe, and they had brought hope with them.